It may take me up to an hour to describe the entirety of our guest's resume today, and Big Vegg is not just a videographer. He's worked in entertainment and more specifically hip-hop for the last 20 years, starting on Interscope's Street Team. From there, we move up through Vegg's resume, talking about hip-hop as well as the entertainment industry, asking a few hard questions as well. As you know, BopCast, this is a wide-ranging conversation, so we dive into Vegg's story, but we also touch on some really important points in hip-hop that I think should not be overlooked, whether you're just a casual fan or you're deep into the industry. So I really appreciate Vegg doing this today. As you know, this is BopCast. This is where we showcase people who are pursuing their dreams regardless of the status quo. So if you are looking to pursue what you want to pursue and not have that shitty 9-to-5 tied to you every single day, well, this is the podcast for you. So I really appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate Vegg doing this, and please enjoy the interview with my good friend, Big Vegg. Big Vegg.
What up?
Thanks for being here, man.
Sully Bop.
Dude, we're here, man.
On the drop.
Hey, man. So,
how are you, man?
Dude, I'm doing great, man.
Yeah.
Before we dive into this, because we got a little bit of I don't know where there's a lot of places, different places we can go today on this episode.
Good,
so I know you through our friend, mutual friend, AK-40 Devin.
That's my dog. That's my turtle, man.
100%. That actually might be an interesting place to start. But before we talk about how you and Devin know each other,
sure.
Can you give me a gist of what you do now? Whether you can use titles, you can describe it, but just to give a little context, because some of the audience doesn't know you. So.
Yeah. So for cats that don't know me, my name is Big Vegg. I'm a brother coming out of Rockland County, New York. That's literally like 40-something minutes from the New York City, excuse me. What do? I am a camera operator. I shoot videos. I take pictures. I'm also a media correspondent. I also do interviews as well. And I interview those that are really doing it, from the mainstream to the independent, artists, all types of content creators, actors, actresses. I'm in the media game serious. I mean, when people see me, they see the fedora, the press. Like I'm the image that I particularly take is what I am.
You're like walking press, basically.
Pretty much, yes. Because this is from the old school. So
when you see Vegg in an event, you're like, okay, that guy's here for something. You know?
That's right.
Because you got the medallions.
That's right. Hip hop.
And you roll with those, brother. Actually, because especially a portion of folks watching and listening right now, you know you? Yeah. And maybe they know the backstory, but I actually would love to start there.
Yeah.
How did these medallions come up? And for folks on the audio, they're not going to be able to see it. So if you want to head over to YouTube video or version, you'll see it. But how did that happen, man? And I bet you got a couple stories that go along with that as well.
With these medallions, first of all, I'm a fan of hip hop. I'm a big fan of the 90s, the golden era. Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, the whole Native Tongues collective, Black Sheep, they used to wear these medallions, and it represents like hip hop, the culture, African culture, and why I wear them, especially now, because first off, nobody else wears them. So when I show up to an event, you see a lot of brothers looking the same, wearing the same type of jeans, the coat, the shirt, chains that might be fake or real. No shots. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But with me, I walk into a place like I'm automatically the alien. I'm like, people look at me like, yo, my man got the African piece, the Spider-Man piece, the turtle, the Wu-Tang. Everybody goes crazy with the Wu-Tang medallion. My man got his own Big Vegg medallion. Like, I stand out. So people, and then on another note, I stand out. So if people don't remember me, like, because I introduced myself, right? If people don't remember me saying, "Oh, I'm Big Vegg," or they don't remember my name, they're going, "Oh, the guy with the chains, the guy with the medallions."
Yep.
So that's how that goes. And just, as far as stories, every time I take a picture with somebody, let's say a celebrity like a Rakim or Grandmaster Caz, or somebody that's like deep into the culture, I have them hold up one of my medallions in the picture. So for like a couple seconds, they look through the collection. Oh, I like Spider-Man, so they hold my medallion as they're taking the picture with me.
And that's memorable for them too.
Bingo. So and this is just hip hop. Like I said, I'm a fan of hip hop, of the culture.
How do you feel about where hip hop is right now? Do you feel good about it?
I hate this question. And
welcome to BopCast, motherfucker.
And Devin laughs in the background. No, I mean, hip hop, you know, the positive thing is you can make money off of it instead of doing something crazy. And you know, you don't, you know, hip hop has become so universal that anybody could do it. The bad thing is just because anybody can do it doesn't mean anybody should do it. You know, like there's a lot of artists nowadays that don't have the talent, but that still get the views. They, you know, they do things to do crazy things to get views and clicks and whatnot. Like that part I don't like, but I do like the fact that, you know, instead of going out and robbing somebody and killing somebody or whatever for any type of cabbage or dough, you could do this art form called hip hop, the culture of hip hop, you know what I'm saying? And this goes beyond rap, you know, you could dance, you could do graffiti, you could DJ, you could beatbox. Like hip hop is a culture. You know what I mean? But to answer your question, it's a 50-50, you know what I'm saying? Cuz I come from an era where you needed talent to really make things happen.
And hip hop was different. That's why I didn't, you know, I'm not trying to tee you up to throw shade on any current hip hop artist.
And please don't judge me as an old head or whatever. Like, I'm just in my ways, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think it's beneficial, and what I'm kind of leading at here is that hip hop used to be a different thing. What people see hip hop as today, and this has happened to most genres, like pop hasn't changed that much. Like the music's changed a little bit, but hip hop has fundamentally changed because it's part of the collective culture now, in my opinion, right? Like it's hip hop is global and universal now.
Yes,
it used to be its own thing in little pockets,
right? Little spots.
It wasn't the biggest thing in the world.
Right. I mean, well, you know, hip hop came from being a fad to becoming one of the biggest and most heard and most streamed, most thing in the world. So, you know, shout out to hip hop. You know, hip hop turns 50 this year too.
No way, man.
50 years of hip hop. Yeah.
Okay, and I think I know who they're talking about in terms of the first like hip hop artists. Like, I don't know their name. Are you familiar with any of that?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. I mean, you know, there's so much history. Grandmaster Caz, you know, he's one of the pioneers. We're talking pioneers, right? So, you know, Grandmaster Melly Mel. You know, if you're not familiar, that's fine. You know what I mean? Google is your friend. You know what I'm saying? Man, you know, of course we can go a little bit further, you know, it's somewhat to my era, you know, LL Cool J, the KRS-Ones,
Heavy D,
you know, Heavy D, rest in peace, Heavy D.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? It's just, my God. Like in the 90s, there's so much fruits and vegetables.
Dude, and you got to say, man, too, in the 90s, too, you had my favorite band, Sublime. You had Nirvana.
Yeah, and they would mix hip hop with rock.
Soundgarden.
Right.
And exactly. Aerosmith was the first one really to, and it's not like hip hop was was evolved even at the Run DMC stage.
Yes, you have to shout out Run DMC because they mixed the rock and rap.
Yeah, and people talk about that all the time.
Before your Linkin Parks and before your, you know what I'm saying? So
and you know, that's why I love listening to Rick Rubin talk about all of these records.
Another legendary producer, engineer. He's 100%. One of the people that started the first, you know, label, Def Jam. With Russell Simmons.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. Russell Simmons on another level, man. It's just like, and a lot of these guys are like Rubin or Simmons, like still around, still contributing to the culture, still doing it. So
shout out to them. Did
you always have a personality like this? Were you always a media guy? Were you always, you know, I mean, how did that kind of evolve for you?
Well, I first started as a sound engineer. I was coming up.
And when was that, era-wise?
2002.
Okay.
And I came into the world as like, well, you know, I love the culture of hip hop, but I never really, you know, did it or anything, you know, or contributed as far as, you know, music or anything. But me and a friend of mine, we started a recording studio, and you know, we started recording local acts from where we are, Rockland County, and whatnot. And I started to grow a love for just sound engineering. And I went to school for it. If you guys are familiar with the Institute of Audio Research, if you're not, it's cool. It's an audio school. It's kind of like a SAE and all that. So, unfortunately, they closed like a couple years ago. But during my time, I acquired my diploma with honors.
Nice.
And then I took it to the next step. I just started engineering, and then, in fact, during my venture at the Institute of Audio Research, I was on. I acquired an opportunity to work with Interscope, where I was on their street team.
And where was Interscope at that time?
Oh man, this was the era where 50 Cent faced off against Kanye West. Graduation versus Curtis.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
50 Cent. Well, yeah. 50 Cent. This was the era of G Unit. This was the era of Interscope.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's enough for me, dude.
Yeah. Shout out to 50 Cent. Shout out to Queens. But yeah. But yeah.
Exactly. Once you say 50, it's like we know.
So my job at the time was going out to promote, and this was the picket sign days. This was before like digital. I think MySpace was only like active as far as I'm showing my age, y'all. It don't matter. but yeah, this was the picket sign days where you had to go out with the picket signs and whatnot, and go to events. This was TRL, early TRL.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, bro. A really quick story. I actually met Common. The artist Common. This is when this is when he was getting promoted through Instagram, through Interscope, and he had just won the Lyricist of the Year for like a BET Awards or something. And we saw him outside of I think a Hummer or something, and we took a picture with him. It's so crazy. He was just on TRL,
dude. He's brilliant. Yeah.
Shout out to
Still
Common.
to this day. Yeah.
But yeah. But back to your question. I started off as a sound engineer.
Mm-hmm.
Started off as a sound engineer, and I just acquired the love for just recording. That's why before we started, like you talking about mics and all that, I know I come from this era of recording, you know what I'm saying? But my era was a little different. We had to connect wires and all that, you know what I mean? Nothing wrong to do. I'm not killing.
I'm lucky as hell, dude.
I'm just because if you came in my era, you'll take a little bit of time to get things.
Dude,
properly
I'd be selling,
put together.
I'd be selling cars right now.
You probably
if I didn't have the internet, 100%.
I hear that. Shout out to the net. But yeah, I came in as a sound engineer, recording local acts and whatnot, and that's also how I met Devin, AK-40 Devin, because he recorded at my studio first, and kind of started getting to the gist of becoming this recording artist. I saw this young artist growing up. It's funny because
continue.
Yeah, and then it's funny because before him, I recorded his two brothers, Dylan and Devious, and he was the third one to come. So it's just funny, like the whole family came.
So explain that. So you were teaching a class?
Yes. Oh wow. Okay. So
we're going in today, bitch.
We are. So at the time of me doing my I say my studio days because I'm now in the videography and the media days. So my studio days, I ran a class where I was teaching the ins and outs of the industry, from recording to, promoting to so many things, you know what I'm saying? And Devin was one of my students in the class. And I had to say, out of all the students, he is one of the most successful students out of the class. I'm not just saying that because he's his.
Where is this class? How do you get it?
Well, I don't do it anymore. But at the time,
I'm saying back then. How would you find it?
Well, I did it through the Recording Arts, collective out there in Rockland. They funded me.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like a college or a high school?
No, it wasn't.
This is like a general public. I'm just trying to get.
Yes. It's funny because after that, I did take it to the high school. To my North Rockland High School. It's funny, so I did do an after school program, so I'm very, very, very happy about that.
Yeah, man, I'm happy you did that too.
But before that, I had to put the work in. So you know what I mean. So so I created this class, and like I said, I was teaching the ins and outs of the business, from recording to how production. I brought in what I would call special guest mentors, where I'll bring in producers. I'll bring in I would bring in people that started their own label. I brought in other artists, other businessmen, women, and it was just a good time where I had the chance to really tap into the up and coming and teach them before they get out. It's important, gotta teach these youngins, before they get out there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so in the gap of time from like what happened between the street team days and the teaching this class days, like what was the evolution of your like how do you go all the way up from I'm on a street team, promote for Interscope, which is the lowest level of a record label job, to then teaching a class on audio and recording with special guests? What was between there? Like, did you continue just in that industry, or did you have other jobs?
Well,
Like,
it's funny because the street team thing happened kind of randomly. I didn't expect it. You know what I mean? So, you know, and I soaked it up as much as I could because that was a great time. You know, but in between that, you know, like I said, the street team, when I was doing the street team stuff, I was still going to school. Then when I graduated school, I really went hard with the studio stuff. Actually, no. Well, actually I did, but at the time, so you make me remember.
Yep.
After I graduated from my school, I got an internship at a recording studio, a big recording studio. I was actually one of the first interns, Brown Sugar Studios in the city. A big shout out to my man Blue the engineer. He was one of my mentors that taught me things about, you know, engineering and whatnot. So shout out to Blue the engineer. So from the street team, I went to interning at this big studio. And then a couple years later, you know, because during that time I was going hard with the studio and stuff. Then a couple years I started my own my own internet radio show called the Rock Runner Radio Show.
And what year was that?
This was 2012.
Okay, yeah.
2012. I started my own radio show with a friend of mine. Shout out to my man Precise, Lady Rock, all the people, my man Still a Mess, everybody. I started my own radio show, and this is how I got into doing correspondent work. That's how I started doing hosting. Because before then, because right now as I'm talking to you, before it's funny I'm bringing this up because it's real. Before then I was I mean it's more natural now, but I had a bad stutter problem. Now I could talk more fluent because of, you know, when you do something, like for example, I talked a lot during the radio show, and the more you do something, the more better you get at it.
Yes.
So the more you talk, the more fluent. I mean, like I said, my stuttering is now more natural. I still trip on my words, as you see and you hear through the podcast, but now it's just more natural.
Did that happen when you were a kid? Did you have a stutter?
Oh yeah. Hey, bro, it was crazy because you funny. You asking the right questions. I like this.
I do. I've done a couple podcasts before.
I'm sure. It's just a couple. Right? This is only episode 118.
Yes, 118. You know, ish. Yeah. Whatever.
Right. But answer your question. I hated when the teacher would ask me to read, because then I would have to read and I would stutter and the kids would make fun of me. You know what I'm saying? I came from that era. So, and you know, I did have a stuttering problem when I was, not like a crazy stuttering problem, but a stuttering problem where people would notice. So, you know.
Yeah, so how did it, so you're saying that the stutter went away due to practice?
Well, I wouldn't say went away, I just evolved.
Yeah. No, I think I'm asking these questions for people who might have one, who might be able to get over it.
Rightfully so. My stuttering didn't go away, but it became natural.
Yeah, okay, so you're saying it more so, it felt natural.
Correct.
Instead of it felt like an embarrassment.
I mean, don't get it twisted. Like, every now and then, like I said, I do stutter and I trip up on my words.
People do.
Once again, but it's natural now.
Yes.
So, like, I could talk.
Well, do you think your opinion of it changed from, like, do you think you were thinking about how other people were receiving it, and now you don't really care as much?
Yeah, because, you know, unfortunately we live, you know, not we live, but we're in an era where you want to be cool or you want to be dope. So when you're in a group of people and you're talking, it's like, and you start stuttering, like, you know, I would get stuck on my words. Like I would do like a stuttering effect on a rap song, like, type joint. You know what I'm saying? So when it started to become natural, and it also helped because, like I said, I do interviews. Yeah. So every now and then, as I was evolving into a better a host or correspondent, I got better at my speech. But, you know, there were still times where I would get caught up in my words, like some words I can't say, I would stutter it, and then I would say a different word or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know, like Porky the Pig or something.
We don't have to go too far back.
Go. This is. I'm following your groove, homie. This is the BopCast.
You know it.
Go ahead, man.
Appreciate you.
Excellent.
What was your childhood like? What was your home life like? Did that influence anything? Like, were your parents into music at all? Were they, like, what was that like? You don't. It doesn't have to be a whole thing, but I'm curious now that we're going into your story.
No, absolutely. I mean, you know, I came up in the era of, you know, the slow R&B joint, you know, the jams. So, you know, mom would be bumping music and whatnot. You know, the R&B joints, the slow joints like Stevie Wonder, and you know what I'm saying.
You grew up with both your parents?
Just my mom.
Just your mom?
Just my mom. Yeah, just my mom. And it's funny because I didn't grow up with my father, but it's funny because my mom tells me that my father was a DJ. So I
kind of worked itself out.
Hip hop.
Hip hop, baby.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I grew up with my mom, and yeah, just, you know,
in New York.
In New York, I actually I grew up in the Bronx. Then I moved to Rockland,
which is more not like the Bronx.
No. Yeah.
A lot of Jersey listeners here. We don't know what you're talking about.
No doubt. I'm glad you said that.
Yep.
So Rockland County, once again, is 40 minutes from the city. We're considered upstate New York, but we're not really upstate New York.
You're like the beginning, I guess.
Yes, we're before the Syracuse.
Like this is Pennsylvania, but we're in Jersey. Yeah.
Exactly. We're before Syracuse, way before Syracuse, before the Newburghs, before that, right? Like you hit us first before Newburgh, before Syracuse,
I know
before
exactly what you're
Poughkeepsie,
about.
right? But I was I was raised in the Bronx. Well, back and forth from the Bronx to Rockland. So, but yeah, as far as your question, my mom would bump hella old school music, R&B music, and
What was she was? Did you have brothers and sisters too, or was it just you and her?
Just me, myself, and I.
Yeah, and so she was supporting both you guys growing up.
Both my. What do you mean?
She was supporting herself and you.
Yes.
So she would work like she had. What was she into? Like what was she?
She was a nurse.
She was a nurse.
She worked there. Okay. She worked at Montefiore Hospital.
Got it.
Shout out to Montefiore. Word. I think they just won. I think they had a whole strike situation, and the nurses won. So shout out to them.
I was gonna say, man, thankless jobs. Nurses, teachers, like anything in that category is thankless, dude.
Shout out to the doctors and nurses and those that work in the hospitals. We just got out of a we kind of still are in it, but we just got out of a crazy pandemic.
I don't know what you're talking about. Pandemic? No.
Coronavirus. You know what I'm saying?
People around here don't believe in that.
Yeah, right. But
around.
No, it's all good. But it's been crazy. It's definitely been crazy. But yeah, shout out to the nurses and doctors, man, because it's kind of important, man. You know what I mean? They become, their occupation has become so much more important based off of the last 2 years.
Yeah. And by the way, I'm gonna throw cops and firefighters in there too. Because,
absolutely, because
and listen, people get political about anything, but at the end of the day, like, I just respect people who do hard jobs. So.
That's right, and then do it right.
Yep.
And they follow.
And know the deal.
I do.
You're shooting a fucking video. Yeah, it's hard work to get up early and do a whole shoot and do all that shit. But it's not the same as having somebody. You're coming up to somebody's window and you don't know who the hell they are, type of thing. Like,
absolutely.
There's our hard and there's other people's hard.
Absolutely.
So with this was an independent radio show that you started on your own, right?
Well, with a friend of mine by the name of, shout out to my man Precise.
But it wasn't with a station.
Yeah. It wasn't with we had no distribution.
House, or like where was
it was actually in my recording studio.
Okay.
So
you had your own your studio,
my own
right?
setup. Yeah. So before I get into the radio show, I have to talk about the studio because there's history.
Yes, perfect. Yeah.
I ran a studio for 16 plus years.
Wow.
Before I stopped and I kind of before I involved and started doing the videography. So it's the reason why I'm an audio guy. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I ran a studio. Like I said, I've recorded local acts. I've had a chance to mix. I had a chance to mix for so many dope artists from Raekwon the chef.
Wow.
I didn't meet them.
Yeah.
Don't get twisted. I'm not gonna sit here in front. I met them. We hang out. No.
Oh, they would send you their
send me.
stuff.
Yeah. Or I would get it through producers.
Got it.
You know what I mean? So I had a chance to mix. For Vado, Raekwon, Papoose. I've had a chance to mix these vocals. Who else I worked with?
And this was out in Rockland?
Rockland County. Yeah. Sean Price of Duck Down Records.
Wow.
Rest in peace.
Oh, yeah.
Who else? Oh, man.
So this was a legit business that you had, that you were running the studio. Was a legit recording studio and mixing?
Recording, mixing, and all that.
And how many people, did you have other engineers, or was it like a solo thing?
Just me, myself, and I was the head engineer.
So you supported yourself, by yourself, off of this, mixing and recording?
I was the head engineer.
Yep.
I was the head mixer. I was the head recording. I was the assistant. I was the, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was everything. Yeah. So yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, I had a chance to mix for so many artists. Like I said, Raekwon, Vado, Papoose, Sean Price. I had a chance to work with a lot of artists, underground, and some mainstream as well. And then do that. Like I said, since I had the studio, I had all the equipment. So when it came time to do the radio show, I had all the equipment. Once again, as we were talking before we got onto the interview, this was the era where it was, digital didn't really hit like that yet. So I had to figure out, wires and connecting and all that. And so there was a couple of episodes when we were doing episodes that we wasn't right, the wires wasn't plugged in, we sounded too far away, like how we sound like right now. It took like a good maybe 10 episodes to get it right. It took
me about 100, so I feel
you feel me? So yes, trial and error.
Yes.
And so the radio show, I ran a radio show called the Rock Runner Radio Show. It was a radio show where we played independent artist music. It was strictly for the independent. You know what I'm saying? And going back to AK-40 Devin, I feel like AK-40 Devin is
and we're
featured on an episode.
100%. We're gonna deep dive on him too.
Yes. But I gave him his first interview.
That's crazy, man.
You know what I'm saying?
So how many interviews? So you were doing like interviews every week and stuff like that? And
every week, Tuesday from 6 to 9.
How'd you get people to find people to listen to it back then? If the internet wasn't like it is now.
I mean, it was just word of mouth.
Yeah.
And then, word of mouth, bro. Yeah, just, going out to functions, passing out cards. Like, I was big on that.
Yeah.
Like meeting you and say, hey, listen, I got a radio show, I got a studio, like every New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve
and Black Friday.
Shout out to Devin. Every it is Black Friday. Every Black Friday I will go out. Every Black Friday I will go out. I will go to, this is the era where people, overnight it would be crowded, it'd be crazy.
Yep.
I would go out there and pass my cards. Yep. I would go to the Palisades Mall, pass our cards.
People everywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go where the people are.
Oh, smart.
Because this is the era before. This is before the emails.
No, you were your own street team.
Yes. That's exactly how I would put it. So I would go out, pass my cards, and and just get us out there, bro. You know what I'm saying? So to answer your question, I would just go to the people.
Yeah, man.
And just connect, man. This was the street team era, yeah.
Yeah, and they still. My friend was on a street team in college, but it was for EDM music.
Oh,
so
nice.
It's like that's what they're doing the street teams for now.
Hey, listen, go out and get it, man.
That should be crazy, house and techno and all that shit, man.
Shout out to music. Music. This world will be black and white if there was no music.
I don't know how you feel about this. I think sometimes they say that art emulates life. I think that life emulates art. So I think we're more influenced by art than art is influenced by us.
Right. Okay. I see you flipping it.
Yeah, I'm flipping it.
That's what's
so
up.
I don't know. What do you think about that? Do you think it's got to be a little bit of both? I would say in reality.
I say a little bit of both. You know what I'm saying? Because inspirations come from both sides. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Yeah, and we have, just so people know if they don't already, we have Dev in the building as well.
AK-40 Devin, Soundsick Productions in the building. Y'all better stop playing, man.
Shout out Sully, shout out Vegg.
And I'll give Jack too. He writes our show notes, so I'll give him the link to your episode too to throw in the description. So if you want to see Devin's episode, that's a whole nother animal.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
the second episode, not the first episode. The first episode, I was like mad stoned. So don't promote.
Wait, we did too?
Yeah, we did too.
Oh, I don't remember.
Well, there you go. See,
Dev, I have too many episodes. Bro.
I love it. I love that. That moment right there when you done so many episodes. I did 200. How many? 200 and something episodes for the Rock Runner Radio Show. It got to a point where some people would come on the show and like, oh, and Devin would tell, it would say, no, Veg, we did another word, like, for real? Yeah. Like, oh, damn, I done forgot.
Yeah, for real, man. So, yeah, I'm with you.
So I got to give you your flowers, bro. Congratulations. I mean, this isn't easy. From the recording to the interviewing, to the setup, to audio. I gotta give you your flowers, bro.
Thank you, man. And it means a lot coming from you too, because you did your show, you did all those episodes.
Respect,
you did it before it was easier to do a setup like this too.
Yeah. I'm just one to always give flowers while you can smell them, bro, because tomorrow's not promised, and we gotta make sure, man. Like you always give your flowers when you can, because you just never know. God forbid, of course, but. Sully, you doing your thing, man. You're going to do like 2,000 episodes. Like I said, we're going to this big studio, Sirius XM and all that. It's going to be something serious.
Bros, you know it. You guys are going to be involved too,
A manifestation,
Yeah, 100%. Was there ever in this time, just because I like this question,
Go ahead.
and it doesn't always turn out well. But was there a low point for you in these last 20 years of trying to do this? Were you always pretty consistent? Did you have any like difficult struggles with anything or relationships or
I think everybody can relate to the pandemic when the world just came to a stop. You know.
And those live events weren't happening.
Live
like that.
events.
Yeah,
I mean, unfortunately, my videography groove and grind is the bread and butter of what I do.
Yeah. Now, it's transformed from audio to.
You know what I'm saying?
Video.
So when that stops, the money stops. Luckily, I'm not out here spending money on fake gold chains and stuff. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like I saved up.
Real Spider-Man.
You already know. It's so funny because I was working at SiriusXM as an intern. Shout out to Mike Muse. I was working at SiriusXM, and I was actually talking to Devin. I think I was gonna buy one of his lenses, and it didn't work out because the day I was gonna get the lens, that's when the mayor or the governor, said, "Yo, we shutting down New York. Everybody gotta stay home until further notice." Yep. So what did I do? Whatever money I had, I saved for rent, for money, and luckily I had enough money to make it through. But like, there was no money coming in, bro. You know what I'm saying? So that was very stressful. You know what I'm saying? I mean, as far as relationships, relationships is that's this is a human thing, bro. We go do good, we go do bad, but I'm just blessed to be in a very good relationship right now. Shout out to my queen Ree. She supports me, man.
Yo, game changer, dude. At least for me too, man.
Yeah,
where it's like
having a queen, bro, that supports you and that isn't like that's just ready to ride. Like, yo, baby, I got you, like, doesn't nag, like, and I want in this industry, long days, sleepless nights. Sometimes no sleep because we're up editing, we're up getting ready for the interviews, like we're up getting ready for the next show or the next event or whatever.
You're at least a 10-hour day every day.
You know what I'm saying? Like the grind is serious, and to have a queen that is like supports you and doesn't make it harder.
Yeah, that's really it.
Just the stress just comes off. Like me just talking about it. It's a groovy thing. So shout out to
you guys. Congrats to you guys. Man.
Absolutely.
How long have you guys been together now?
9.5 months.
Okay.
Next year. Next month will be 10. Our 1 year anniversary will be in April.
Got it. So you guys, have you met not too long ago too, or did you guys know each other?
We didn't really know each other. We knew of each other, but Is
she into audio and video and stuff?
No, she's not.
Yeah,
she's not in the industry.
I will say, my girl's not into any of this stuff.
Right.
It's great.
But I think for me, and for like we do interviews, we interview people to have a significant other that is in our industry, we have to worry about competition. Like we have to worry about them overdoing us or vice versa. They may think we hating on them, or why didn't they let us interview French Montana? Why they get the interview? 100%. Why weren't you the cameraman? You know what I'm saying? Like,
your podcast has more downloads than mine.
Exactly. We don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, and there are examples of couples who do the same thing. There's examples of couples who are co-founders of a company, and I think that's fine and that's great.
And they're successful. Yeah, but I know they go through their riffs.
Yeah, and that's just a different type of. It's just mostly horror stories with that. It's like there's not a lot of successful.
Yeah, but the fact our queens aren't in 100%. The industry.
No, I like it too because it does add that kind of balance where if like I'm telling her things about what I do, she doesn't know all the details.
Yes.
So then she could also ask questions.
Yes.
Where it's like if somebody knows, it's like, okay, you're like, I have to like reach out to more people to like get more sales, and and they're just like, that's how sales works. Like,
right.
And then it's just not a conversation. So that's the good thing about having the somebody who has different passions.
I'm guessing your queen is a 9-to-5er.
Yeah,
mine too.
Yep, so the deal, man.
Relate,
we're out freelancing, we're out doing our business. Yeah,
it's
100%. And she was in the gig economy for sure. Like she.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so her brother owns the DJ company that I work for.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so she was a photo booth attendant for 8 years.
You want to shout out the company?
So Starshell Entertainment, man. I mean, the best in the biz, baby. Yeah.
Make sure you hire them if y'all need that DJ, weddings, bar mitzvahs.
Dude, I'm getting, I'll say I'm probably getting 1 to 3 people a week hitting me up. Hey, what's the price on DJing? What's up?
See?
Yeah,
That's
so
what I'm saying.
100%, it's happening now because
It's all about branding. That's what's up, man. But yeah, just shout out to our queens, man. For
Yeah, definitely.
it's a beautiful thing, man. Word.
Yeah, and you got to. For me, it exposed a lot of things about me that I needed to work on.
Yeah, me too. To be a better person for her.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a mirror.
Yes.
Somebody's like a mirror.
You
And
give
it
in what you
forces
get out.
Yeah, that's it. And
Absolutely.
then you're realizing all their shit too at the same time. So you're like,
right.
oh shit.
right.
Were they really like that? I didn't realize that, you know?
Right, yeah. Then you just like, I got lucky.
Dude, and we don't even live together yet. So like,
Yeah, I'm saying me and my queen don't live together either.
Yeah, and I think, and I know that's a whole different thing.
That's a whole nother
world. I can't even speak on it. I don't even know how it works.
I don't even know how that works either.
And I'll say this. We got together March 20th, 2020.
Wow.
Yep. So the day that they shut everything down was like the 19th-ish. So we spent probably 3 months basically together every single day for the first 3 months of our relationship.
That's
and then I
crazy,
moved
man.
2 hours away, and we've been long distance for 3 years. Or 3.5. Yeah, 3 years.
Where's she currently?
She's in
living?
Egg Harbor Township by Atlantic City.
Wow.
Yeah, South Jersey. So we have a long distance relationship.
That's crazy, bro.
Yep. Which has been a trip for sure.
But the love is
Oh yeah.
the love keeps y'all together.
That's what I told her. I'm like, we would not. Okay, so a long distance relationship is the hardest thing that you'll ever do.
Y'all better tap in. Y'all better listen, man. For y'all having a toxic relationships or whatever, man. Y'all better listen and be inspired. Go ahead.
You need I don't know anything about marriage yet.
Yeah. Same here.
But you need to be at that level with somebody if you're gonna be away from them for 90% of the relationship, because nobody is gonna go without the person that they love. Like, nobody's gonna do that and stay doing that unless they love the person that much.
Right. Yeah, love is gonna keep y'all together.
Exactly.
For sure.
A lot of superficial, toxic, whatever you want to say, relationships on the surface are held together by location.
Yeah.
Because it's very convenient. It's held together by convenience. And the second you pull that convenience away, the relationship fizzles out.
Game over.
What we had to figure out was how to make it stronger while being away from each other. Which is, there's no playbook, but there's things that we do, and there's things that we have done to, try to make that stronger. But if you want to determine if you really love this person or not, move 2 hours away from them and see. And 2 hours isn't any different than 2 days away. Because for me, it takes me 2 hours and 15 minutes. Like,
if you love that person, no distance will keep y'all apart. Yeah, to a degree.
And also,
metaphorically,
yes, 100%. And also, 2 hours might as well be 24 hours away, because if you can't take a quick drive and go see him. Now you're long distance, So it's like, I'm not going to see you for 5 days. Well, if you were 6 hours or 2, what's the difference? It's still the same amount of planning. So that's crazy, dude, that's been a fucking trip and a half. But anyway,
shout out to our queens.
100%. Shout out to the queens, man. Shout out to the queens.
Absolutely.
So what got you into the video? What made you I guess end the show?
Here we go.
Transition.
No. It wasn't the end. I didn't start videography during the end of my venture in internet radio.
Well, okay. So
I started it in, I would say, in the middle, when YouTube was a baby and video was starting to come into fruition for the internet. So I want to say 2015. I was in my third year of internet radio. And it got to a point where, okay, I'm gonna tell the story. It got to a point where we needed video because, once again, we were getting, YouTube was a baby, must have been maybe 2 years old, 3 years old. Like, this was 2015. YouTube isn't big. You can put anything on YouTube. There's no censor. There's no scanning. You put anything up, you good, right? So it got to a point where I started hiring videographers to come and shoot certain segments, because on my show, we had the interview portion, and since we did it in my studio, I was a big fan of Rap City, Big Tigger, the whole Rap City era. So let's say a rapper comes in, they do an interview, then they would come in, and then they would go into my vocal booth and they would do like a freestyle or whatever, Rap City shit.
Yep.
So it got to a point where, like, okay, we got to start shooting, we got to start taping these segments. So I I started hiring videographers to come, but you know what? It got to a point where videographers either they didn't show up, they showed up late. I asked them for the footage, they didn't give it to me. I got the footage late, I didn't like the footage, so it just became a hassle. So I invested and I bought my own camera, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I just bought a camera and I just started recording. And that was my start into the videography. And it's crazy because first, and then I was also getting invited to like events, like industry mixers and, where I could meet people and networking mixers. They're called industry networking mixers, where you would go meet people and, basically introduce yourself to people and network with other people. And then to go even further, what got me to do interviews on camera was when I went to this networking mixer and I'm taking pictures and doing video, and some guy says up to me like, oh, that's a dope camera. I'm like, yeah, no doubt. I'm just trying to figure out whatever. I got a radio show, doing my thing, networking and all that, right? I'm like, oh, that's what's up. You do interviews? Like, yeah, I do interviews. Yeah. All right, let's do one right now. I'm like, I got a radio show. I get you on the radio show. No, you have a camera. Let's do one on the camera. I looked at him like, oh, all right, cool. All right. Can your homegirl hold the camera? Yeah. So that's when I started to do interviews on camera. And it's crazy, bro. And then I started to really get into the culture of doing interviews and shooting and doing pictures. I actually came in through the fashion industry. I did a lot of I got invited to a lot of fashion shows and dived into like the fashion, you know what I'm saying? Which is crazy, real crazy, bro. I got a story about the whole camera situation too. I'll get into that in a minute, but it's just crazy, bro. Like, I'm really thinking about like my legacy's crazy, bro. I've done a lot of shit, man. A lot of shit, bro. A lot of shit. But yeah, man. That's how I got into videography, bro. I started through my radio show. I recorded segments and whatnot, and then I started going out to mixers and getting invited to industry events, and then I started doing interviews on camera and started to learn that type of groove, like understanding that, because that's a whole nother world, doing interviews, like interviewing people.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And then I started to learn and acquire a love for shooting and doing videography and capturing and collecting content. So, yeah.
So you had more of a passion for audio when you got into audio.
Correct.
And you got into video through a necessity.
Yes. That's exactly what it is. Yes.
Yep. I feel you. I got into audio. I got into audio because of music, because of a passion for
right, because
music.
You're an artist.
Exactly. But before I was an artist, I was a guitarist and a drummer.
Oh, okay.
So I got into hip-hop from a friend, and I thought it was fun.
Okay.
And I got into producing out of necessity because I couldn't afford beats.
Wow.
And I didn't want to pay for good beats because I didn't want to use $10 beats.
Right.
And so I was like, I can make better beats than this. And then
that's right.
That's what I tried. I mean, so now I have multiple, luckily able to work with producers and stuff who are actually way better than I was.
There you go.
So then you got into the video from a necessity, but then you started to become passionate about it once you, I would assume, got a little bit more confident with it and just started actually doing it.
Yeah. I mean, you just dive in, bro. That's a good thing about this era. You could just do anything, man. You could go on the internet and just do anything.
Dude,
bro.
I have people, I just think it's wild that people pay me for advice, It's like, that's fucking crazy.
I mean, bro, if your time is valuable,
Yeah, like, hey, if I could save you 20 hours.
And 20 steps.
Why wouldn't you do it?
Because you and me, we come from a trial and error situation. Mm-hmm. Like, dude, like you putting this together. You said you had to do a couple of shows, and I'm the same way. I had to do my first 10, 20 episodes of doing my radio show. Had to understand how to connect things, audio, bringing in people, phone. Like I had a radio show. People called in and all that, bro. Like an internet radio show. I had people calling in from from overseas and everything, bro. So I had to learn. I had to truly learn. No one took me under their wing and said, okay, Veg, listen, you do this, and do that. No. I learned everything off of trial and error. You know what I'm saying? If I lost Wi-Fi, then I lose this signal. Like, bro, so many things happen. And then what I mostly learned when I started shooting video, right, and I started to really like get into it, but I didn't know what I was doing. And I'm glad Devin didn't come to me at the time, because I would have told him, like, bro, all I press is record, and I pressed the button, and I don't know what 1080 is. I don't know what that is. I don't know what 60 frames, 24 frames, bro. I don't know. Yep. You know, and at the time you couldn't YouTube it either. No. You know what I'm saying? Or at the time when I started. So 2 years later, when I first started video, it was 2017. I never forget it. It was I was coming from a gig. Once again, I'm shooting. I don't know. I'm just shooting, right? I'm coming from a gig, and I'm in the heart of Times Square, right? This is pre-pandemic, right?
Totally.
Yeah, this is pre-pandemic, right? Way before the pandemic. So it's a Friday night, crazy. It's crowded and all that, right? So I'm going to the Port Authority because I'm going home. You know what I mean? I'm going there to get a ticket, take a bus to go back to Rockland, right? So, but before I do that, I step into a 7-Eleven, get some snacks, chilling, whatever, right? I had my camera bag on me, right? I put my camera bag down. You know what's coming. All right, so I put my camera bag down, right? I get all the we gotta hear this, right? I put my camera bag down, and I get all the snacks, whatever. I go to the cashier, I pay for all the snacks. I walk out without my camera bag. So I'm like a block away from the Port Authority, right? Mm-hmm. I'm on the move. I'm not thinking, right? I'm whatever, right? I'm about to go home. I get my ticket from the Port Authority, right? Cool, right? And I'm chilling, right? And then I for some reason I just noticed, like, I'm looking around, like, where's my camera bag? I would say good 20, 25 minutes passed already. So I'm running back.
Yes.
I'm running back to the 7-Eleven.
I have sprinted through Manhattan before. It's fucking
it's crazy. This is pre-pandemic, so the streets was crowded.
I worked there in 2019, so yeah.
Right. So I'm sprinting back to the 7-Eleven. The camera bag was going in a minute. I walked out. Yep. So I lost the camera. I lost maybe a couple lenses, a couple SD cards, a microphone. I lost about a good $900 worth of equipment.
And especially as an independent.
In 25 minutes.
Yeah. It's not like you're working for a fucking company who owns this shit. This is you. This is your livelihood.
This is me, right?
This is your livelihood.
So, but, you know, luckily I know people. At the time I was cool people. I think one of my boys lent me his camera. So, like I said, at the time, and that's another thing. Make sure you connect with people and don't be an asshole. So when you do get into a situation and you need something, and you're a good guy, they got you, right? Yes. Back to my story, right? So boom, I take the L, right? I didn't go on Facebook. I didn't go on Instagram. Oh, these mother effers.
You didn't start a GoFundMe for all of your friends and family to give you money?
I didn't think about that.
Because of your fuck up? Wait, all right, continue.
I didn't. You're funny.
Motherfuckers be tripping on a rock. Like, wait, I tripped on a rock. I bumped my knee. Y'all want to throw me a couple hundred?
Right. So, all right. So I take the L. I go home. Luckily, though, I had some money in my account, and also a gig didn't pay me yet. Like, they said they were going to send me a check, but they didn't do it yet. I called them up, like, yo, I told them the situation. Literally, I think they overnighted it. This was before Cash App and before cash applications and whatnot.
All that.
Yeah. So, and out of all times, this happened around Black Friday. Mm-hmm. So all Black Friday sales was on. It was on point. It was crazy, right? So online, the Black Friday sales was they had deals and bundle joints, whatever, right? So I got the money, it's cool, and I ordered a new camera. You know, nothing crazy, just to get me back into the game. Nothing super crazy. Ordered a new bundle, and I think I had extra money, so I ordered it rush delivery. Because people were calling me like, yo, Veg, you come out, shoot this. I couldn't. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to tell them I lost my camera. I'm busy. I can't do it. They go find somebody else. That's one thing, too. You could be easily replaced, so be careful. So I ordered rush delivery. All right, cool. It's on its way. Once again, we're in the Black Friday times, right? So, you know, everybody's ordering every day. So, you know, based off the rush delivery, I was supposed to get it in like 4 or 5 days. 4 or 5 days passed. I didn't get my package. So the next day I call. I'm like, yo, what's up? I ordered blah, 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 yada, yada. Oh, sorry, sir. We're kind of backed up because of, Black Friday sales, da, 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 da. You should have the package soon, in a day or two. Okay, cool. Click. 2 days passed. I don't have my package. Call them back. Yo, guys, I really need I really need the package, da, 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 da. Sir, we're sorry, blah, blah, blah. Black Friday sale, da, da, da. Like, listen, put me on the phone with your manager, right? Put me on the phone with the manager. Listen, I told him the situation, my whole situation. I lost my camera, blah, 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 yes, da, da, da. Bro. And he told me, I guarantee you have your package in the next day or two. I'm like, all right, I'm going to hold you to that. I'm like, all right, cool. Click. 2 days later, got my package, right? Back in the game. All right. Funniest thing, right? Boom, right? So I'm back in the game. I'm good. Got my camera. Boom, boom, bam, right? The next day, right? I got another package. I'm looking at the package. I'm thinking it's for my mom, right? It has my name on it, right? So I bring it inside. Bro, it's the same package that I got from the previous day. So I got 2 cameras.
No shit.
That's God, bro.
Bro, that's God for sure.
So I got my first package, the same exact package.
Yeah.
So maybe they sent it twice by mistake. I don't know, but yeah, I got the same package sent to me 2 days later.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
And it's funny because after that, I started doing like 2 camera angle jobs, and I needed 2 cameras. That actually
leveled up. Yeah, that leveled up your production.
Also, during the time when I didn't have the camera, I was at home. And I was kind of just doing research on how to shoot and understanding angles. And I actually, through that experience, I became a better camera operator. Like, I learned how to shoot. I learned resolution. I learned slow motion. I just learned so much because I had a chance to sit down and I did research because I wasn't doing nothing else.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So
what about clients? How have you found, like, is it just your connections over the years, or connections
over the years, of course, word of mouth as well. You know what I'm saying? If you have a good reputation, that goes by far.
How do you feel about video/audio as like a side hustle, side project, like something to get into?
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Dude, the amount of people I know that just shoot weddings that kill. They're not passionate about video. Like, they're just good at it. They cut the video and they give it to the bride and groom,
and their clients like it,
and they make their fucking money,
and they live.
Yeah, and that's especially for people if you are not a type of person to be in front of people. Like, I'm the fucking DJ and MC, bro. Like, I gotta coordinate the entire event. I gotta tell 200 people what they're supposed to be doing, right? Like, it's a lot of pressure, and you're in front of people.
Man. Absolutely.
If you want to be, and by the way, there's a ton of pressure behind the camera because you only have one shot.
Right.
For me, I can fuck up one song and just go to the next song.
Yeah, cameras.
You, right?
You fuck up a shot, the footage goes missing.
Have you done weddings?
I've done a few, and I did actually one with Devin.
Probably not your favorite.
No. It's just a lot of pressure.
It's a pressurized environment.
Because it's timing. Like,
yes. If the bride is a bitch that day and she's nervous, and it's just and then the maitre d' is like fucking up your ass.
And then it's just, once again, everything is on timing. So it's like me and Devin were looking at each other like, okay, so next is like blah blah blah. Like, and sometimes things go off the itinerary. Yeah. Like one thing's supposed to happen, and then we're waiting for that thing, and then something else happens, and like Devin's like, yo, Veg, go over there and catch the bride to come in from the bus. I'ma get the bubbles or whatever. Like it's so much things that could go off key, and usually it does sometimes. Like nothing's perfect.
I would say never do a wedding with one shooter if you can.
Oh, absolutely not. That's crazy. Like, you're gonna drive yourself nuts. Yeah. Like you gotta clone yourself or something. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like
100%. Yeah. You know? I mean, dude, the fucking wedding industry is ridiculous. It's crazy.
It's definitely crazy.
The reason I'm in it is because I get paid pretty good.
No. Listen,
and I love it.
You could charge.
I actually love it.
You could charge as much as you can because weddings are very. It's a necessity in life. It's you're watching 2 people into the next chapter in their lives. Yeah. So they want people to record it. They want people to DJ. They want people to get the audio. They want people to take the pictures. They want people
to dance on the dance floor.
Exactly.
They want people to get their food. Get the correct food.
This is their one moment where you can't say, "Oh, I missed the kiss. Can you guys do that again?"
Yeah, run it back. I know. And I will say, there's a few things you can stage for sure at a wedding, but but you gotta think too. The photographers have the most strenuous job of a wedding, I would say. My job's tough. Like, I gotta bring the equipment,
Yes.
pull it in, set it all up, do like the entertaining part. But that photographer, I have a 8-hour night. They have a 16-hour day.
Yeah, because they got to go
and
with.
Sometimes you guys will be there for the whole day.
No, videographers too. We got to go with the groom and the bride. Or like say, for example, like Devin was with the bride, I was with the groom. I was getting them putting the shoes on, them crying because they're emotional, reading their cards, going through the personal things, and catching all this to create a recap that's going to be like, wow, this is our day, our one day. And we were just we're lucky to have it. You know what I'm saying? It was weddings are cool, man. Videography is cool. You just have to make sure that you have some type of groove, some type of structure.
What do you mean?
So for artists, for videographers that are just coming in the game, just understand like whatever you're doing. If you're shooting a podcast, just know like in your head, get an itinerary of where they're doing, of what they're doing. Like you're gonna talk about this subject, maybe break for a commercial, or maybe not, or just go through it. You know what I'm saying?
Have an idea of what's going on. If it goes off, all good, but at least you started with the plan.
Exactly. Have a guideline.
Yes.
Just to understand of where.
And is that something that you have to learn how to do? Is when you're working with somebody to like kind of take control a little bit, because they imagine you're getting hired by somebody, they don't understand video, so they want you to understand it. Yeah. But you also might need to direct them.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Of course. Yeah. We'll bring in the genre of music videos. Directing a music video. Yeah. You have to. You have to direct the artists on how they want, like they want to look like Jay-Z. Yeah. They want to look like LL Cool J. They want to look like Lil Wayne. Okay, well you have to listen to us, the director. We got to get the angles right, or we have to direct you like, okay, bro, when you in this scene, you want to sit down, you want to look cool, you want to come into the smoke, come out the smoke, the light is over you, the light is on you, the light is in front of you, you know what I'm saying? So there's certain things that, directing is definitely an art form.
I gotta give you guys credit too, because working with you two, it's you guys don't fuck around. Like you guys busy. Like to have fun and everything, but
we're serious too.
When it comes to the shoot, it's
business. You
get the job done. That's what you have to do.
And even if we're not getting paid for it, like which I want to bring up too, like
good point.
A lot of people talk about I'm not getting paid, like and it's funny because. There's I'm not gonna shout him. I'm not gonna say his name or anything. But he put up somebody put up a post, and I didn't react to it. I just been on my own post. He said, "Oh, if I'm not getting paid, I'm not gonna be passionate about what I'm doing when it comes to shooting this video or whatever." So then I put up a post, kind of saying the opposite. Like, it shouldn't matter if there's money involved or if there isn't money involved, because at the end of the day, your reputation is on the line. You know what I'm saying? Like people are going to look at you based on what they see and what they hear. And they're going to hire you based on what they see, especially what they hear. Because their homegirl might be an artist and they're going to ask your boy. And if your boy's like, nah, bro, he's lazy, bro. I wouldn't even like, you know what I mean? But my boy, my man Vegg, that's my dog. Like, he be going in, he be doing the angles, da da da. You know what I'm saying? But blah blah blah. I don't know, bro. You know what I'm saying? Especially, you know what I'm saying? So, especially when it comes to these mainstream artists, because half the time they not gonna pay, but they gonna give you an opportunity to use them as a representation for further clients, right?
Yes, and but. Think about it, Veg. Most people don't think about it.
They don't.
From that person's perspective.
They don't.
That's hard to do.
Unfortunately.
If you're and
because it's all about the dollar bill, y'all.
And listen, I don't know shit about I don't know anything. I'm not really close to any like really big artists or anything like that. But if you get I
don't judge either,
opportunity from Joey Badass,
right,
Action Bronson,
right.
Fucking, I'm just naming some East Coast guys. Like,
yeah.
If they ask you to come in for free,
you gonna do that shit.
I'll come in. I'll pay you.
Right.
Like, but my opinion on this. Well, now two things have happened in my life. Right. I've paid people to help me, and people have paid me to help them. The next level of anything in life is paying for people to give you things, their mistakes, so you don't have to make them, so you can skip the line.
For sure.
So if you're not getting paid, they're giving you, like you just said, an opportunity to experience a different level. And if you're not like, dude, I don't expect you to work with a guy who has one song and it's terrible and everybody thinks it's terrible for free. That's not what we're saying. But if there's an opportunity, I've worked for free in many capacities. I still like to do it today. I don't have as much time to do it.
Same here.
But I love the value. Like, the best thing, I think, which you could probably attest to this, is if you can be a fly on the wall somewhere, that's the best. Don't say shit. Just watch. And that's what you're doing as a videographer. You're just watching.
That's how you do it, man, and capturing the moments, man. You know what I'm saying? Definitely for those that are coming to the game, you know, don't look at the situation just because money's not coming in or whatever. Like, obtain the opportunity, especially if opportunity is knocking. Don't keep the door shut. Open that door, because you never know. That opportunity might lead to a paying job. But sometimes you have to sacrifice.
And it will. It just might not be the second one or the fourth one.
People
can't do shit over and over again. That's their problem.
And then things don't happen overnight either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, success. Like, people like look at these celebrities and think like their success is overnight, and it looks overnight, but there was a whole 10-year ride before that, understanding how to do whatever, like understanding how to rap, how to sing, how to do video, how to do audio, and you know what I'm saying? Like people don't understand. Like, people think that things happen overnight. It's not like that. Like, even though it may look overnight, like there's a whole 20-year, like, you know, relationship, you know, bad relationship that they had with their parents that they had to get over. You know, personal stuff, you know, bad relationship, you know what I'm saying? People not believing in them, like, you know, overnight dreams don't happen overnight. So
no, it takes 10 years.
You know what I'm saying? So,
at least I would say you're 10,000 hours.
Absolutely.
You know, and wherever you're going to get those 10,000 hours on the street team, in the
radio show, studio, video,
15 years, wherever you're going to get that start. You know,
absolutely, man.
And so, how do you keep the business going today? Like, what are you doing? Has it evolved in the last few years? Like you said, since COVID, now you're back in business.
I mean, yes. I mean, definitely. You know, once again, keeping connections open. And being a very friendly guy, you know what I'm saying, and patience.
Yeah,
patience. Yo, you need a lot of patience dealing with people in the industry.
Big one.
But to answer your question, yes, things always evolve. You know, when you meet people, you always want to connect with them and just understand what you could do better, how you could be better at what you do.
Yeah,
I feel like videography, podcasting, hosting, you know, the entertainment business is a never-ending, you know, perfecting thing. You always want to be better. Like, I always want to be when it comes to my hosting career, I don't ever want to be called boring. Like, I'm very energetic. Like when people see me, like when I send my reels out to people, like, yo, you got a lot of energy, bro. Like, yeah, man, I want, you know what I'm saying? We live in an era where people don't watch shit over 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying?
Tell me about it.
Maybe 15 seconds, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I give off that energy to make sure cats watch. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when I interviewed Cisco, if you guys don't know who Cisco is, the Thong Song. That should, you know, Google the Thong Song, one of his greatest records, right? When I interviewed Cisco, the first thing when I introduced him, he's like, "Yo, I like your energy. You know what I'm saying? When I interviewed Rakim, the God MC. I interviewed Rakim. I don't believe I'm saying that. I interviewed Rakim. So when I interviewed Rakim, right, I was so energy, you know what I'm saying? Rakim was so laid back. It was cool, you know what I'm saying? Like, all deep voice and whatnot. Word up, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? My impression might be bad. Rakim, please don't diss me or anything. Shout out to Rakim. He's one of the...
Rakim, you can diss him. It'll be fun.
It would be. I would share it on social media.
Dude, well, I'm going to clip this. No, but you don't have to get closer to it. You're good.
Okay, I got you. But yeah, Rakim, I mean... I was so energetic and he was so laid back. It was so, I was so happy. I was so excited. There you go. I was so,
and
I was
he
so,
could feel that though. It was genuine. It wasn't just like, oh, another interview. Like
he definitely felt it.
Yo, I watched. I'm not throwing shade on these guys at all because I think they had a good interview. I think it was Pauly D or it was Mike the Situation, and it was so weird because I finally realized what comedians always say about radio interviews, how it's like just a guy that is forced to do it. It's then might not even really they don't even really care about you. And I just watched this interview where I'm like, I'm not going to call a guy because I don't even know what podcast or radio it was, but I just see that, and that just, it kills me because if we just put everything away, like that's what I want to do. It's like I want to put everything from a label to a we have to get these viewers, so we have to ask these questions to get the right views. I want all that to be dispelled, you know, and that's probably similar to what you were doing.
Absolutely. I mean, let me ask you a question. Before you do interviews, have you ever went blank?
Meaning before I do the interview, like I don't know what to say. No.
Or didn't have any questions to ask?
I never have any questions to ask.
That happened to me with the Rakim interview.
Oh no, that would happen to me probably with somebody big like that. Yeah. No, but Veg, I haven't interviewed people who are at that level.
Well, I mean, even with anybody, you know, it could be.
I have an example.
I'm just saying, like, has that happened? Period. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only time. You know, and I'll let you speak just real quick with Rakim. I had mad questions, you know, like I grew up listening to him, like I was a fan, like I wanted to know certain things, had mad questions. Once my executive producer, shout out to my man Damien Emile, Music Money Videos, I had mad questions, right? My executive producer Damien, he goes, all right, action. I'm like, oh shit. What's up, y'all? It's your man Big Vegg. We here, Music Money Videos. We were at an award show, and he was being honored. He was being honored for obviously his contribution to hip hop. Rightfully so. He's one of the pillars, especially of the golden era. Like he introduced flow.
Yes.
To hip hop.
If you don't know, you got to do the deep dive. Listen,
because
figure it out. Yeah.
real quick history before Rakim, everybody was on the you know what I'm saying, doing the yelling and all that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Run DMC, respectfully. You know what I'm saying, but
Beastie Boys,
etc. Exactly. Everybody was yelling and that's cool. But Rakim came in with a low tone voice, introduced flow and lyrical ability all in the same. So Rakim was one of the pillars of that. Shout out to Rakim. But yeah, so back to the story. So my man says action. For a second, I'm like, oh damn, I had mad questions and had to kind of go off the fly and just ask whatever questions that came up. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Yeah, I wanted to pull it up on the screen share real quick. Do you have the Rakim interview on YouTube?
Yeah. You could Google. You could look it up on the Music Money Videos YouTube.
Music Money Videos?
Yeah. You might have to scroll down because this is like a good.
Thanks, Steph.
Yeah,
it doesn't play the audio if I play it.
No, it won't.
Right?
No, just do the video. But I can toss the audio in too.
Yeah. You might have to look for it. I'm not sure, but I mean,
and I'll give it to Jack too. I'll link it. For the show notes.
I can send you the link. But yeah, but my point is, I went blank, and I kind of had to freestyle that interview. Regardless, the interview came out good. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I think I could have did better because I asked so many good questions, yo. But that's why I asked you if you ever went blank before.
So I figured out my example. Gary V. It was with Gary V, who I look up to.
I met him. He's so cool.
You met him too?
Yes.
Where'd you meet him?
Yes, I met him at his well, he's probably not there anymore, but I met him at one of his spots, and it was very random.
Yeah. Now you're good.
Yeah. It's very random, and I think I was actually vlogging some people.
Like in New York, you met him? Or?
In New York, yes, okay. In New York, yeah. I was vlogging some people.
How long ago?
Oh man, 2023. Now, it has to be like 2019.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's when I met him in 2019. So.
Yeah.
And then I met him again the other day. Well, not the other day, a couple months ago.
Oh wow. That's crazy.
But the first time, I'm in line, right? So we go to wine. So he puts out this thing that, hey, I'm going to have a meet and greet at my dad's liquor store.
So you just...
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm there. So my friend hits me up. He's like, I know you love Gary V. This is in 2019. And do you want to go? I'm like, yeah, let's go. So we pull up. We go to the second floor of this liquor store. It's massive, right? And we're looking around, and then we see a bookshelf with all of his books on it. So we're like, he's definitely going to do it right here. So we just waited right there in that spot for an hour.
He was plotting.
Then we see him, and he comes in, and we're like, all right, sick, we're in the right spot. So I'm probably 15th in line. We get there, and the guy, his guy D-Rock goes, just a picture. If you want to ask him a question, get in the back of the line. Damn. So I'm like, okay, no sweat. Okay. Do the picture. I'm like, Gary, I don't care about the picture. I'll be right back. So I go to the back of the line, come all the way back. He goes, thanks for your patience. Really appreciate it. So I asked him my question. That was fine. I did fine. I did okay in that one. I asked a decent question. His team ended up posting it. Got like 1 million views. It was crazy. Woo! Crazy, dude. I asked a question about artists, actually. Yeah, so it kind of worked out for me. So, because I'm sitting in my math class in college, and I get all these notifications, and it turns out that bling. It was people sending me the video of me that he posted, so it's crazy. So then this past year, same time of year, like around Thanksgiving time, we go to the liquor store again, dude, and I'm like, I'm gonna ask him to be on the podcast. His dad lives 15 minutes from here.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. Wow. So I know.
Shout out to Papa Gary V.
Exactly. Shout out to Sasha, dude. Sasha Vaynerchuk.
That's right.
So I'm like, I'm gonna ask him to be on the podcast. I wait in the line. I do the whole thing.
Yeah.
I walk up to him and I was like, hey, I was here in this exact same spot 3 years ago. He goes, yeah, I know. I remember you.
That's what's up.
He said, I know faces. I rember all the faces. So I was like, holy shit. And then he touches my beard.
Woo!
And then I go, oh my God. Cue to the clip. So yeah, touches the beard touch. Got that in. But yeah, they kept trying to get me to take pictures. And I think I was just caught up in the moment. So I still asked him a question, but I didn't get to ask. I just didn't ask him to be on the podcast. Okay, so that was one of those moments, man, where I'm like, I did talk like you on the interview, but it's like, in hindsight, I would have done it differently.
Yeah, right.
But the other time is Rob Deerdeck for sure. I really look up to him, and I was on his podcast.
Okay.
So that was a little bit easier than if I was interviewing him. I feel like.
Right.
But that was a trip, dude. I was definitely nervous for that.
Shout out to Gary V, man.
Shout out to Gary, dude.
When I met him, I had a camera in my hand, and he's like, "Yo,
he loves that.
That's your camera?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's my camera." "Oh, you shoot, you're a videographer?" "Yeah." He's like, "Yo, use that camera. It's gonna get you places." Then we took our picture.
Yep.
And he looked at me. He's like, "Yo, you got the whole look too. He could like the press and
he knows."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
the thing, and like
shout out to Gary V.
Remember, he'd remember you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, 100%.
Who wouldn't? Yeah,
dude, for real. No, and
absolutely.
Yeah, and there's these people in our kind of culture now, especially with the internet, like him, where you think people make fun of him all the time and make hilarious videos, and right. I love it. It's I think it's funny, but he doesn't need to do any of this.
Right. He's very passionate about what he believes in, and he shares that with the world. And I think that's cool because he doesn't, like you say, he doesn't have to, put out positive messages and all that.
No, he doesn't have to help you start your business that you don't have.
He doesn't.
He has many businesses.
He good.
Actually, this week I'm talking to the VP of Strategy at VaynerMedia.
Of course,
to help her with her podcast.
Why wouldn't you, Sully?
We'll see. I'll let you know, bro, if we get it locked in. But I'd love to help her with her podcast.
That's what's up, man. Shout out.
Dude, so in terms of how you, and I just think this is important to touch on, how you and Devin met, you touched on it a little bit.
My bro.
Because I feel like that he's not just somebody you work with.
Yeah.
And you've had many people in your class. You had hundreds of people on your show. You've met thousands of people over the last 20 years. What is it about him that you saw? He's the third brother coming into the studio now, right? Right. You've seen the other iterations, right? What is it about him, and why did you guys click?
I mean, it's Devin's work ethic. I mean, one thing I taught him, kind of like what I said earlier, don't push away opportunity. Sometimes you have to make the opportunity happen. With Devin, he's just a grinder, bro. Like, I used to tell him, bro, I'll be up all night mixing or editing videos, and I think he saw that and like, you know what? If Vegg could do it, I could do it. You know what I'm saying? And then he goes out here, you know what I'm saying? And you know what? The best thing about it is like to be his mentor, and I don't hate. I want him to do better. He's out here shooting videos for Sheik Luch, Corey Guns. He's out here with the Locks. He's out here with Remy Ma and Papoose and everybody, you know what I'm saying? Dave East. Like, a lot of problem with a lot of these OGs and mentors in this era is they mentor you and then you get better. And then they get better and then they hate. But you put them in that position. I put Devin in the position to be better, to do better, you know? I remember the first time he messaged me, yo, Veg, I'm about to get a camera. Do it. Yo, Veg, I'm about to get this drone. It was the orange drone. Rest in peace. He knows what I'm talking about. And, you know, say, like, all this, like, I was there. Like, I could say, like, and I said this off camera, I could say I'm his day one. You know, he came on my show first for his first interview. He came to my studio first to start his recording career as far as, like, becoming a recording artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
hey,
you know, let me finish this. To answer your question, why we clicked is because I feel like we're both the same in different ways. And what I mean by that is we both grind for what we love and what we want and what we need, and we understand what the job needs. What we understand how and why and how to get the job done. It's important. You know what I'm saying? And then, like I said, Devin is one of the, you know, he is the successful one. No, he is the successful a person out of my class. Because everybody else, you know, he
took what you said and he ran with it.
And he ran with it, you know what I mean? But of course he had to go find out his own way, as they should, trial and error or whatever, and experience their life how they do it. But Devin, he's doing his thing, man. Like, you know, the sky's the limit with him, man.
Dev, I'm gonna flip it on you since you're here.
Let's go.
What was it about what Veg was teaching in this? Like, what did you think of him when you were early on in this class? You know, like, you had no idea you were going to pick up a camera.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I mean, I think it was just, I talked about it on the first podcast I had with you. Like, I never, like, just having an open mind, because I don't listen to any of my teachers at school, or I went to summer school for gym. Like, I didn't listen to nobody. So, like, I think having someone who, like, achieved cool goals, I think that was cool for me to just have, like, an open mind. And his class wasn't really about, it was more so about, like, the music business, like the publishing, the ASCAP, the copywriting. Yeah. And from there, like, literally, I just asked Veg, like, how do I book a show? And I don't know if he told me at the time. I don't remember, but I just remember sending emails after email, and then I'm like, yo, Veg, I got this opportunity to open up for Rakim. Who's Rakim? Yo, you gotta study. You gotta study this album. Rakim did this. Rakim did that. And then I start studying everything, and then it's like, yo, I got the opportunity to open up for Immortal Technique. Who's that? Yo, listen to this album. Check that out. That out. So, I mean, yeah, man. He gave me a lot of education. I always had an open mind to everything that he was saying, and I think that's the key, is just having an open mind. Like, I was never stubborn, and still to this day, he calls me out on bullshit. Like, even at my birthday bash, I was too lit, and, like, he probably told me 20 times that day, like, yo, chill the fuck out, like, you're too lit.
I'll say, I'll just hop in there. I knew that Veg was telling you that, so that's why I didn't say it.
That's right. No, because you were busy DJing, rightfully so. But
I wasn't gonna go up to him.
And anyway. That's one thing too with Devin. Like, he always comes to me, and I feel like I'm the guy that's gonna tell him the real. Like, he's shown me a track, he'll show me a video. Like, I'll tell him. But the thing about it is, I'll tell him something is whack or I don't like it, but I'll tell him why. Because a lot of people will say, oh, that shit is whack, that shit is trash, but they won't tell you why.
Dude, I think the worst thing that you could tell somebody is, that's dope. It doesn't tell me anything.
Right. Why, though?
That's shitty. That's dope. Those two sets of words, they don't tell you anything.
Right. No, I mean,
if I know it's dope because I did it.
Right.
I wouldn't do it if it wasn't dope. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and from an outside perspective, from somebody that's worked with both of you for hours on end.
Yes.
You guys have I can tell you trust him, he trusts you.
Yes.
You know,
trust
you are really the first teacher that he really respected.
Yeah.
And
right.
And he's the first student that was actually wanted to use you as a leverage point and as a stepping stone, and actually was asking you the right questions
and follow
you
through
saw
with it. Yeah.
Exactly. Instead of just being like, this looks cool, but yeah, maybe I'll get a camera someday.
Yeah,
He didn't say that. He said, I think I'm going to get a camera.
Yeah. And even before the camera, like just music.
Yeah.
Being an artist, because before the video, he was an artist first.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So when he took my class, he was in it to learn the artistry. Once again, the business, the recording, everything. Just because at the time I wasn't really into the video. I was teaching whatever I did teach was based around my sound engineering, or just music business, the music business,
yes.
the ins and outs of music business. Nothing video, pretty much.
Okay, yeah.
Video came later,
which is
which is good because
equally as important as just the music itself.
Absolutely,
100%.
Video came later.
Next episode we'll deep dive.
Absolutely, yeah. Video came later, which is good because through my experience, I taught him how to shoot, how to. How to even edit a little bit, like he's a crazy video editor, bro. Like he has adapted to today's times. To everything, bro. Just equipment, like he just knows what to do, and now he's on his way, bro. The sky's the limit, man.
For real.
And I do gotta say too, like the most important thing that he taught me was networking.
Oh yeah.
No one ever teaches you that, and like he taught me the importance of that.
Shake hands and kissing babies.
So he was the spark of you sending all those DMs.
Yeah, because
day.
he would tell me like every time someone follows you, just message them and say like thank you for the follow, and just engage in a conversation like that.
Say what's up.
But I do also gotta say too, like even in my music career, like he never asked me for a penny. Yeah. I don't think he did. I don't think he ever asked me a penny to ever like come to my shows and film or help me with a music video. He still doesn't.
No, my videographer's the same, dude. Yeah, my homie Brandon, bro.
I believe in the cause, man.
Yeah, we work together. We work together. It's a belief thing.
Even during the pandemic, like when I lost my job, like no disrespect to a lot of my friends, but like he constantly like, yo, here's money for Similac, here's money for diapers, here's money for whatever, just willingly. Wow. And he just said on the podcast earlier he didn't have any money to spend. He wasn't even working himself. So things like that, like I'll never forget. Like when I had nothing and my son had no diapers, no milk, anything like that, he was the one helping me. Not even my parents, because my parents are like, you're on your own, kid, you got to figure this out.
Right. But
he's always been there for me, man. And then especially like with the camera, like he was a mentor to me. I asked him what camera to get, got that, and we just always did free work for each other. He showed me to network, to do opportunities, and bro, everything that I know, I literally owe it to this guy. Literally everything. I could go ramble about everything that he's taught me, but I owe this guy my whole
I think we'll do one
man.
with both of you guys. It'll be fun.
That'd be cool. Are we gonna end this right now?
We're starting to wrap right now.
So I'm gonna end on this on this note. Karma. Whatever you put in, you get out. If you're an asshole to somebody, expect it to come back. If you're disrespectful to somebody, expect it to come back. If you're nice to somebody and it's genuine, and you do it for love, if you want that person to win, it's gonna come back. Even sometimes if it doesn't, karma's gonna come into play. Like if somebody does you wrong, like people have done me wrong throughout my whole career. Like I said, my career spans 20 plus years. In my career as a sound engineer, videographer, street teamer, media correspondent, and so on, right? People have done me wrong, and sooner or later, those people have gotten dealt with. They ran into their own problems where they lost customers, or they lost money, or they lost their equipment, or they lost their situation. It's all karma. You don't wish bad on nobody, but it's all about karma. You put in what you put out. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. You put out what you put in. Y'all know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Real talk.
It's true.
Karma. It's all about karma, yo. You know what I'm saying? So,
I agree.
The reason why I say that is because, people are watching. Make sure, don't be afraid to help out your friends. Don't be afraid to, believe. That's one thing that people need to, nowadays, especially with so much crazy stuff going on. Believe in your people, yo, and help them. Go out of your way. The money will come. The situations, everything's going to come, but just believe, and believe in yourself, too.
And you don't understand how much it helps for somebody to believe in you.
Yo, like the energy. the goodness.
Like if they think I'm gonna do it, then I can do it.
Exactly.
Thing, right? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't get twisted. Sometimes you got to push yourself, but when you got that extra cat saying, "No, you could do that, bro."
Yeah, and it's like you can never expect somebody to do that for you, but you could always do that for somebody else.
You know what I mean? But once again, karma. It's gonna come back sooner or later, if not through that person, through another person, or through another situation. That's how karma works. You know what I mean?
I believe in it fully.
Just
even if it doesn't exist,
right.
I still believe in it.
Right.
Because it's a way of living.
It's just like my camera story. I lost my camera and got 2 cameras back.
Yep.
Karma. I don't do nobody bad. I don't wish nobody no type of.
You will
evil.
have a better life if you believe in karma.
That's
100%.
That's what I'm saying, yo. That's a
no way you have a worse life.
And I try to tell that story all the time because it's important. You be going through the worst. I lost $900 worth of camera equipment and got back as much too.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
I'll tell you, man.
So what do you see for the next few years, 5, 10, whatever, as far, or as close as you want to look in terms of what in video with you and Devin? Like, is there anything you want to do specifically?
Man. I just want to. I want to explore, man. I want to travel more, man. I want to travel more, yo. I want to travel more.
Yep.
Yo. In 2017, when I didn't really know all this video shit, and I'll be brief.
Take your time.
I went to Paris. I went overseas, bro, for like a week, and I went for their fashion week. But this is before I knew like what I was doing. Like I was in the right place at the right time. People invited me, blah blah blah, whatever. But I want to travel more. I want to, New York is cool, but I want to get out of New York, respectfully. I want to travel more, man. Me and Dev got to go to freaking Las Vegas or something.
I know. I could see y'all anywhere.
Yeah, go on tour with somebody or something, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, well, you're putting it out there to the world right now, man. So
manifestation.
It'll come back.
Absolutely. I want to travel more. Of course, get more equipment because that's gonna, better the situation as far as what I could do. What I can do as well, teach more people, because mentoring is forever. I never, especially if they're hungry. Like Devin was hungry, so that he was easy. He was hungry for knowledge, so it was easy. What else? I mean, just living, man. Me and my girl, me and my queen. That's the future as well. I'm just living, bro. I'm living for today. That's gonna lead to tomorrow.
Perfect note to end on. Dude, this was a lot of fun today, Veg. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Can I do some shout outs real quick?
As many as you need. This is time to plug.
Shout out. No. Watch. Because I don't want to get no hate mail. Shout out to everybody who rocks with me. You know who you are. I'm not going to say no names. But shout out to everybody. You know who you are. Just shout out to everybody who believes, man. Believes in me. I will say shout out to my man Damien DeMille, Music Money Videos. He's given me an opportunity to, through that outlet, I've had a chance to, like I said, interview Rakim. So many people, man. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him. Shout out to his outlet. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to Devin. Shout out to you. Shout out to my queen, Ree. It's us forever, always and forever. Shout out to my mom, man. Shout out to everybody, bro. See, I started doing. I wasn't gonna say names, but shout out to everybody. I love everybody, and we gonna end it on that note, man, because that's what we're gonna do.
Let me shout out Veg real quick, bro. Shout out for teaching me how to be a kind human being. Shout out for teaching me how to fucking use a camera.
That's
Shout out for just making me a better artist, better individual, better father, better leader. And
I'm here,
Veg,
man.
you want to travel more, snort a product. We're gonna manifest this shit. You need a tour videographer. You can get 2 videographers for the price of 1. If you need anyone on tour, let's get it.
Yo, we out here, bro. We going to Canada. we gonna see the 6th God, Drake. I'm manifesting that too. But Sully, I appreciate you. Keep going, bro. I'm giving you flowers again. Just, bro, this is 118. I want to, bro. By 500, I want to see a different setup.
Probably gonna be by 200.
See, I like that. You see that? I said 500. I'm giving him time. He's like, nah, Veg, what you mean? We gonna do that the next what 48 episodes?
You're a mentor, Veg. You're motivating, brother. Dude, thank you for saying that. Thanks for everything today, man. I appreciate it. Dev, thanks for producing for us today, as always, man.
Sir, bro, it's my pleasure, man.
Absolutely. Actually, follow me on Big Vegg, BIG, VEGG_. Make sure you follow the Bop Cast. Make sure you follow AK40 Devin, Sound Sick Productions.
Everything in the show notes, everything in the description.
Oh, everything is in the description and all that stuff for sure.
Go hit that. So, thank you, Veg. Appreciate you, man. This was a really fun interview. We have a lot to get into in the next one too. I feel like the first one just opens the door. So
Absolutely.
We'd love to have you back, man. Love talking hip hop. Appreciate it.